Here goes. Welcome, everyone. Jacqueline Kuhn here with JacquelineKuhn.com, powered by Angels, for my last Angel and Astrology live session for the year 2024. For those of you who are live, thank you as always for supporting me live. It's nice to know when I'm recording things that I'm talking to real people. Sometimes when you're just recording and there's nobody on the other end, you kind of wonder, anybody listening? I know the angels are there, but what about humans? So, thanks for joining. Today, we're going to really talk about a couple of different things. We're going to talk about Capricorn season with Archangel Azrael. Capricorn starts in a couple of days. We're also going to talk about the archangels that are front and center the first 3 months of the year, and then some predictions, some downloads, some messages I got about January, February, March of this year. So a very different session today. With
Cool.
that, we always start by talking about the archangels. Refresher, there are 15. 3 of them are the managers of the other archangels. They oversee them, right? They're like the bosses of them. Archangel Michael, Raphael, and Haniel. All the other archangels kind of, report to them, so to speak, right? There's a hierarchy everywhere, even in angel realm. And because they're the overseers, they're the only archangels that haven't been tied to zodiac signs. And it's those archangels that are of a particular interest in my practice because I I like to help people and help all of you listening to kind of associate those angels, your zodiac sign, the energy, the planetary energy, the astrological energy, to kind of associate all of that so you can see the synchronicity, so that you can understand, oh, well, that's how I can work with that angel, right? Oh, this is happening, and that would be the angel that can help me through it. Because please remember that the angels were created by God's source to help us on earth. That's their sole purpose, to help us, because souls have, are doing earth time, which is the hardest time for a soul to do. And because earth is not divine, earth is very man-made. Earth is all about the things of man. And the angels are to help remind us of our spiritualness, and to help us in our spiritual path while we're grinding it out here on earth.
Yeah.
Grinding it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It is a
Mm.
grind sometimes, especially this time of year. I find people either thrive or they like get really depressed. There's like no in between this time of year. It's like either whoo or yeah. So this is not an easy time of year for a lot of people. Um, so about angel numbers, uh, I I did 4 like healing shows, healing practitioner trade shows this year up here in Chicago where I'm at. And just about everybody that came up to me because my angel logos, right? Came to talk to me about angel numbers that they see. And I would say maybe 20% really understood what angel numbers are. I think the other 80% really bought into some materialistic way of people selling them merchandise with angel numbers on it so that they could feel good about themselves. And interestingly enough, a couple of people were wearing numbers, were wearing, 3 angel numbers, and they were struggling with a particular area of their life. And I'm like, take that necklace off. They were wearing 555.
Mm.
5 is the number of change. They were saying that their life is in turmoil. Everything is turning upside down. Nothing is constant. Nothing is steady. And I'm like, yeah, because you're wearing triple change every day on your body, generating the energy of change. They're like, oh, I just thought it was an angel number bringing me good luck. I'm like, no.
Mm.
So knowing angel numbers is really important. And today, which is a really interesting day, 12/20, is a two number ones. I mean, one number one, two number twos, and a zero. One is create, two is trust, and zero is divine. And so when you look at the message for today for 12/20, it's really about having trust that what is being presented to you, the opportunities, the events, what's going on in your life, what you have created, what you're looking to create today, in today's moment, what is occurring around that are divinely created, zero, divinely created events and opportunities. You're meant to be where you're at. You are meant to be here listening to this video. You're meant to be doing whatever it was you were doing earlier in the day, even if it was not something you would normally do, right?
Hmm.
12/20. Trust. Two is the number of trust in the angels. It's also the number of partnerships because there are partners, right? Angels are our partners on this journey. So that's what today is about. And it was a great reminder for me because whenever I publicly do predictions, my stomach gets a little knotty. To be honest, I'm like, okay, I don't know if they're going to be right, but this is what I've been told. So I am trusting that the messages that I've gotten are the ones that you all need to hear. That my divine angels are guiding me to give you the messages you need to hear. That's a lot of faith, right? That's a huge leap of
Yes.
faith. So that's what today's all about. That's what angel numbers are all about.
Yeah.
And as we move into Capricorn on the 22nd, we also move into Archangel Azrael energy. Um, Archangel Azrael is a very controversial archangel. His Hebrew name literally means whom God helps. And it is written in the lore that he is the angel of death, that he helps people who die go to the better place, right? Cross over, go up to the ascended masters, into heaven, into the light. Um, he also helps in the grieving, right? When you lose someone or something big and major. And quite literally, he helps in transitions. And I find it interesting that we have Capricorn at the end of our calendar year, Archangel Azrael tied to Capricorn, and it is during this time of year where we let go of things, where we transfer into a new year. We put away what has gone by last year and we start anew. And he's our archangel to help us do that. He is not mentioned in any Christian text, in any historical Judaism texts at all. Nothing that is officially sanctioned by those organized religions. But he is mentioned in Islam. Um, and he, along with Archangel Gabriel, Michael, and Israfil, are the archangels mentioned in the Quran. And what's really interesting is he is the angel of death, but he doesn't act independently. He waits for God to let him know that it's time to take a soul back up to God, back up to the masters. So it's really interesting where that one very traditional long, centuries, long religions, there's only one that actually mentions Archangel Azrael by name. There are archangels that are mentioned with a close name to Azrael, um, in in a Christian in the Apocalypse of Peter, but it's spelled differently. So is it the same angel? And in Peter's writings, the angel that's spelled like Azrael is the angel that eventually takes Jesus up to heaven when he ascends up to God. So really interesting and controversial because this is one of those archangels where I have I had my artist depict him as a light-filled soul, but many, many drawings you see of Azrael is, literally sickle, black hood, literal angel of death. And I don't want people to think of him that way. I mean, yeah, absolutely. If you have loved ones who have died, ask him to make sure that they get where they need to go, they get to the light, help you to grieve in your grief, help you to get over your grief so you can move on. Absolutely. But also, as you're transitioning from anything, loss is a loss, whether it's a job, just a friend, a divorce, a child going off to college is a loss, right? Parents will feel a loss. You can look to Archangel Azrael as things in your life are changing as you're moving from an old state to a new state. You can call upon him for loving presence and support. And you may actually feel his hand on your shoulder if you really, really truly, sincerely pray to him. So he's really, again, fascinating that in all the lore and in what is written, they've aligned Azrael to Capricorn, which is the transitional sign from one Western calendar year to the next. So that is where we're moving into. So as you begin to end your 2024 and plan for 2025, if there are things you need to give up, if you need to move on, ask him for guidance, ask him to be there with you to give you the strength to do that. So my video extra that was recorded a week and a half ago covered all of these planetary influences that are still in play. Venus in Aquarius, Mars retrograde, Neptune in Pisces, Jupiter retrograde, and our Pluto now in Aquarius. That was all covered. I'm going to cover a couple of them. But honestly, the only astrological event between now and the new year that to me isn't any significance other than those still in play is the Capricorn new moon on the 30th of December. There are other events happening, but it's like minor tweaks to what's already in play, which I consider a gift from the universe because there's enough energy going on already. We certainly don't need more.
Yeah.
It's just, don't pile on. You've piled on enough. We don't need any more. And the Capricorn new moon coming on December 30th, again, talk about synchronicities. When the new moon is in Capricorn, it is the best time to think about your goals, right? The ways to make your goals happen, to make what you want to achieve happen. Look at what you need to do, what it's going to take you to do that, to finish up something that you wanted to finish up before your year's end, or what you need to do so you can start the new year, start a new project, start whatever you want to do. So on the 30th, sit and meditate in the energy of the Capricorn new moon to give you those divinely inspired ideas on how to make that happen. I find it interesting that it again is the day before New Year's, and New Year's Eve, is traditionally the old lang syne, etc. But doing the work before the celebrating, so that come January 1st, you can begin to act on those plans, and take in the energy of that Capricorn new moon. That's pretty much the only new energy coming in between now and early January.
Cool.
A reminder that Venus is in Aquarius, focusing on relationships, love, connecting with people. Through the 28th, this energy of love and people and togetherness will be fueling all of your experiences. So hopefully your holidays through this period are not drama-filled and are very much filled with love. The one that I am really going to focus on today, even though I focused on it a couple of weeks ago in my recorded session, is this Mars retrograde. And particularly when Mars is retrograde in Leo, because Leo is governed by Mars, right? This explosive, aggressive, I gotta get this done for me energy. Now, if you are a Leo, you are probably going to feel between now and January 6th that you can do anything the world sets in front of you. You're going to be feeling this like, yeah, I'm empowered. I'm going to make it happen. And you're going to somewhat resemble a Taurus, bull in the china shop because everybody else is kind of going, whoa, what is going on with you, right? So this Mars retrograde is just about everything being a little over the top when it's in Leo. It's a very personally, you just have people who go and do and react and in your face. So we really need patience through this period. Patience with other people. I'm not saying, don't speak your truth or don't speak up, but really pick your battles wisely. Because this is the energy of true aggression. This is the energy of like crazy, drivers on the highway
Yeah.
that cut you off and don't obey the traffic laws and things of that sort of people shooting people for no reason because the line is too long with the Chris whatever. This is just crazy energy. And honestly, globally, now for the next couple of weeks, the wars that are in play are going to intensify because the feeling right now is that there is no end. The feeling is everything is, people are against me and I've got to have it my way and I'm going to go and get it. So, you will see the wars intensify during this Mars retrograde. Um, and then when it moves into Cancer after January 6th and basically for the month of February, it's really going to be a bout of a lot of impatience and tempers, right? People are going to be reacting to the change of the new administration in very different ways. Some people are going to be high-fiving in the streets, other people are going to be very, very unhappy and depressed, and they're going to be triggers. People are going to be triggered during a Mars retrograde. And just, don't get involved, know your truth, speak your truth in a kind and gentle way, and be patient with people. When Mars retrograde is over, things are gonna, individual interactions, things are gonna calm down. It's just this explosive energy for these next 2 months that will also be impacted by all the changes coming with the new administration. Whether people want the change or not, it's big change and people will have big reactions to it, right?
Sure.
It's not like it's all going to be negative, but there will be big reactions, huge, giant reactions.
Hmm.
Neptune is in Pisces, yay, through March. This is really the beginning of more of our spirituality, our compassion with others. This is the calming influence that's happening during this time period, and that's Archangel Sandalphon. So getting in touch with your spirituality right now, knowing that the, negative energies, the negativity, that this too shall pass, and really connecting spiritually and looking to Archangel Sandalphon to help you do that while Neptune is in Pisces. It's beautiful. There's a beautiful feeling when Neptune is in Pisces. It's, a beautiful, healthy dream life. You are in tune with your soul and what your soul is looking for. You'll find people helping people a little bit more as long as, they're not reacting to things that are going out there. So for those of you who are spiritual, you'll find this energy to be very calming. And so kind of ground into this energy, ground into Archangel Sandalphon, to, keep that spiritual stake in the ground. Jupiter continues retrograde through the 4th. Just remember, watch your expenses the next couple of weeks. If you haven't done all of your gifts shopping for Christmas, Hanukkah, and whatever other things you celebrate, watch that budget. Don't overspend. Because Jupiter still remains retrograde through February 4th, and then all things money will be much easier to come by. And lastly, and always, Pluto is now in Aquarius. So feeding that empowerment, that freedom, that spirituality, and you can probably even feel that the overall energy around restrictions and restrictive speech has kind of lifted, and feel a little freer. And it's just going to continue as we go in through the year.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
Let's talk about what I believe is going to happen in the first 3 months of the year based on, I did some channeling, I did some meditation, I asked Spirit, I said, hey, what's going to go on? The first thing is there are two archangels front and center. Archangel Haniel takes front and center in January. Divine feminine energy, your intuition, know your true self, believe in what your intuition is telling you. Don't believe in that in the media, don't believe necessarily in what you read in papers and magazines. Know your truth and really listen to your intuition for the month of January. And then as we move through February and March, that is Archangel Raziel. He's actually the archangel for Leo. And so it's interesting that he showed up for February and March, not January, since, Mars is retrograde in Leo there, but he's showing up in February and March mainly because the wisdom of Archangel Raziel comes to us through our dreams, and helps us interpret our dreams. And so as we work through any of the anxiety of what's going on around us as the world changes, you know that Archangel Raziel is there to help us because our minds, when we sleep, our subconscious starts working things through for us, and they will manifest in dreams. And so Archangel Raziel is going to be front and center to help us reconcile that, and understand and what we're dreaming, why we're dreaming, and what that means to us. So keep that in mind, because whenever things materially change, our subconscious tries to help us understand it and work things through it in our dreams. And, I've told some of you, sometimes you will dream about a person, and it's not because that dream is about that person, it's about what that person represents in your life. And so you may get some very disturbing dreams of a person, dying, or a person going away. And you're like, wow, what on earth is going on? And that's really where talking to Archangel Raziel and kind of saying, okay, hey, what does that mean? Maybe that person is symbolic of something in your life that you are letting go. And it's not that person leaving, but it's what they represent in your life that you are getting prepared to let go of. Right? So remember that dreams are not necessarily literal, and Archangel Raziel is to help us in that area.
Mhm.
Okay, this is probably I actually probably the most controversial and the first thing that I got when I was channeling. I believe I know who they're telling me this is, but I don't want to give a name. But due to natural causes, a very key influential political leader of the Democratic Party is going to die in the first quarter. When that happens, all the secrets that they have held will come out. All of the power plays that this person made behind the scenes, these promises, these deals, the way that this person manipulated people to get things done will become really revealed and will usher in an era of cooperation. Um, it it the cooperation isn't going to happen immediately because this death will happen probably in the February-March timeframe, but the unfolding of things because of this person's death, as things now, the layers of that onion get unpeeled and everything gets exposed, the cooperation in Congress is going to become more of a we, not an us and them, because it's going to be like, holy crap. Uh, the American people, the American people are going to be like, holy crap, can't believe it was this is really what was going on. Some of us know what's going on because we know these things. Some people have no clue. So this is probably the biggest catalyst for change, and the biggest event that I was given as a message that's going to happen in the first part of the year.
Good.
The next thing that I believe will happen is there will be a failed assassination attempt on President Trump on or around Inauguration Day. That the result of it will expose even more truths as to who's really behind that and further coalesce Congress. These two acts I've been told, and I'm continuing to like get goosebumps, and they're reiterating with me these two acts as heinous and horrible to experience are going to be the catalyst for us to see our leaders in Congress finally come together and go, yeah, we got to work together. This is one country. This is not us versus them. We are all Americans. So, and I always say failed because that's what they told me. It will be very much failed on or around Inauguration Day. And it will springboard the coming together of people in ways that we haven't seen in a really, really long time. Thank God.
Yeah.
And then for those of you on the Atlantic coast and on the West Coast, major, major natural disasters, water events in the Atlantic Ocean that normally wouldn't happen in the winter are going to be happening. So any like transatlantic ocean cruises, weather events that could impact planes flying over the Atlantic Ocean, just water events in the Atlantic Ocean. The California wildfires are going to intensify, and I honestly fear for people in Northern California, to be honest, and in the West where a lot of the forests are. And then I asked about this 4 different times, and they basically said there will be a major earthquake on the West Coast that extends into Oregon and Washington, perhaps as far north as Seattle. And so if you're in these areas, really watch your weather. Please be careful. Make sure you have emergency procedures and know what your evacuation routes are should you need to do that. Have extra, food and water on hand, because these are big natural disaster events that I believe are going to happen in the first 3 months of the year on either coast, not in the middle of the United States. It's in the ocean, because I was told in the ocean, not like on land, but like in the ocean, and then the West Coast and wildfires intensify. Not going to get a handle on them, unfortunately. So be safe out there. Now, I asked about the wars, and I was given the message that the Russia-Ukraine war will be winding down and potentially completely over by April or May. That it's going to almost to us be like it happened overnight, because we're gonna hear one thing in the news where things are winding down, and like another day in the news where an accord was reached and it's over. Like it's gonna be like that, to the American public. But that January, February, March, we're going to see the winding down, and literally it will be over by April, May. And the reasons for the war and all these things will get exposed, and it's all political. But thank God, our people, our money, our resources won't need to worry about that throughout next year. We have other places to worry about, like Syria, but we don't have to worry about that. In money, Bitcoin is going to make a huge resurgence, according to my psychic sources. And please check with your financial advisor before doing anything. But I have been told that Bitcoin is going to make a big resurgence. That it's going to be a big sales vehicle, a big exchange vehicle, as we move forward. But January, February, March, you'll see big rises in Bitcoin trading and Bitcoin value. But I am not telling you to invest. I'm not telling you to take your savings and throw it into Bitcoin. Check with your financial advisor before you do anything, because only you know your personal financial situation. But I'll be interested to see if this one actually comes true, because Bitcoin has been kind of weird. And I don't know why that came up. And then the last message I got was the message I got was that there'll be a kinder and gentler social media. And I'm like, what the heck does that mean? So what I believe I'm being told, and I'm trying that to say to people, is in February, March, you will begin to see people softening their posts, more tolerant. You're a bad person because of this, the bullying, that just people in general are going to be kinder and gentler, and the social media energy is going to be kinder and gentler. That as all of these influences happen, we're going to see less bullying of people, berating people, negative, evil, mean messages and presence on social media. That it will, it takes on the energy of the people. The people will be taking on the energy of Aquarian age. And as a result, social media is gonna, I guess, begin to soften. So if you've stayed off of social media, except for my group page, because of it being a lot of garbage, to be honest, you might find that people are back to, cat pictures, dog videos, pictures of their grandchildren at recitals, things that are fun and uplifting, as opposed to negative and downgrading. So that's what the first half of the year, and it's big. There's huge change. We have to trust that that, as I've always been told, that this is what we need to usher in the age of Aquarius. We need for all of this change to happen for each of us to be able to live more spiritual, free lives.
Yes.
I will ask for questions once I go off being recorded, so we can talk a little more personally about those predictions. And so before I stop recording, for those of you who are watching on video, thank you so very much for watching. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, please do. Next year, I will be offering more free stuff to people on the Facebook group, mainly because it's easier to connect that way. So if you haven't joined, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. I will be posting more videos on the YouTube channel in the year to come. And look for the full year of predictions coming in January. I'm going to be recording it next week after the Christmas holiday. And my December special of 25% off any service is good through Sunday. And I may or may not be increasing prices next year. So if you want to book a service and get 25% off the current prices, you have through Sunday to do so. Thank you for watching. I'm going into private session to those who are here live. Have a happy holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, a great new year, and I look forward to connecting in the new year.